Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul. This is exclusive revision session for the mentees, and we have the new batch also here. I think we invited everyone so that they can also learn on what all things we are doing here. Very good afternoon to all of you, and it's always pleasure to speak on when addressing to the mentees because they understand the concepts exactly the way it should be known. And markets have been all over the place. A very sharp rise that we saw in just 2 days of time. Very clearly a big move on the upside, and we can see that post that move, it just fizzled out, and we are started seeing the selling pressure. And one very interesting aspect is that I talked about 18,100 level 2 days back itself, and that 18,100 level is still respected. So market mein ho kya raha hai? If you observe the market using simple techniques like candlestick, I've been talking about this in various. So that's how we started the mentorship, by understanding the candlestick. That's the most important part that you have to look at. After 20 trading sessions, this is for the first time. Today was for the first time we saw a close below the prior day's low, which means whatever started at 15,600 odd levels is possibly maturing around 18,100, possibly maturing. So we at least have a pause now. Now we will, I would not be going and saying since we closed below the prior candle low, you go short, its top is formed. No, it's too soon to conclude that. फॉर आइडेंटिफाइंग द टॉप पकड़ने के लिए आपके पास में और मेथड्स होने चाहिए, क्योंकि खाली कैंडल का क्लोज देख के आप टॉप नहीं कैच कर सकते. सिंस द ओवरऑल ट्रेंड हैड बीन ऑन द अपसाइड, you need to understand the context of the market. Remember, so the past mentees will remember it very clearly. Understanding the context is the most important thing. So whenever you are trading the market, the two, it is divided into two parts. One is understand the context, and the other is the signal. So when I say understand the context of the market, context का क्या मतलब है? Context means what is the situation, what is the overall scenario, what you see as a whole, the overall development. The move which happened on the upside sharply 2 days back was because of HDFC twins that we saw, right? Those stocks were up by nearly around 10% on each of those, and those two stocks were responsible for that 300 points move on Nifty. And after that, we have started seeing profit booking happening, and those stocks again came below the level where they opened, or near the level where they opened 2 days back with a gap up. So ये बहुत important चीज है. So exactly, you need to observe the forest before you then start counting the trees or seeing the trees, because you need to know how dense the forest is, right? And then you go about plucking your fruits. So होता क्या है, नहीं तो हम we get lost in just seeing the fruits but not understanding where do we stand. It's not a philosophy, it's a pure science, I would say. Because suppose if you are trying to simply look at the candles without understanding the area of significance, एरिया ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस का मतलब है कि ये बना कहां पर है, वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है रेदर देन द कैंडल इटसेल्फ. दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. सो आई एम टेलिंग यू वेरी ऑनेस्टली, people practicing candlestick, they struggle a lot because they forget about where is that candlestick forming. So for example, अगर 18,100 पे मार्केट है और वहां पर मॉर्निंग स्टार बन रहा है, that will not help, because anyways morning star should form after a sustained down move. Secondly, it is forming near the resistance of the channel, so channel takes precedence over everything else. That's very important. उसके बाद में सपोज आपने बुलिश एंगल्फिंग देखा 18,100 पे 18,100, it does not help because that is where the resistance is. So area of significance is important. Now we are again back to that gap area on Nifty near around 17,800 where we opened 2 days back. That's the gap area. So this is the area of significance now. From this area of significance, if we start seeing a morning star or a bullish pattern, at least for intraday, we might get a buying opportunity towards that 18,050, 60 levels. At the same time, you just can't rely only on the candlestick. As I said, you need to combine it with something like open interest, right? If you are checking open interest, and if you do that in a very simple way. So today is the session which is going to be very simple, easy, no confusion, completely objective is what we want to do. Okay. So अगर आपने open interest देखेंगे, I'll also show you the charts and we will look at the path ahead from here. We'll do all of those things. But first thing first, open interest clearly showed that 18,000 had a sharp rise on the call side and also on the put side until yesterday. Until yesterday, the calls and the puts were sharply rising. Now today something changed very much. 18,000 call continued to rise even when Nifty was above 18,000. Now that was a very interesting observation कि 18,000 क्रॉस हो चुका है, 18,060 तक है, 18,060 तक है प्राइसेस, लेकिन कॉल सेलर्स अभी भी एक्टिव है, साथ में पुट सेलर्स भी एक्टिव हो रहे हैं, which was a classic indication that some strategy of a straddle is going on there. Now, as soon as Nifty today moved below that 17,900 mark, you will see the put sellers started squaring off their short positions. The reason we look at options from a seller's perspective is because they carry the risk. Buyers does not have that much risk. The sellers carries the risk. So we always talk options from the seller's perspective. So 17,900 जैसे ही ब्रेक हुआ, 18,000 के ऊपर का जो put options था, those people started squaring off the positions and 18,000 call continued to increase. That suggested that this whatever pullback we are getting is possibly a sideways action. There are two reasons for it. एक तो overall trend had been upside, but we are seeing a profit booking or reversal on the downside. So there is a conflicting sign. Because of this conflicting sign, we can clearly say that this is not the market conducive to simply buy a call or buy a put as of now. इसका मतलब आपको स्ट्रेटेजी करना पड़ेगा. क्या स्ट्रेटेजी हो सकता है? You either sell a strangle, maybe sell a call, sell a put, or you might want to time it to the extent possible, get that smaller move of 50, 60 points, and then possibly get out of the market. That's the strategy right now, given the fact that the trend is up, but we are seeing a reversal happening. Now, when do I go and jump in all in for shorting the market? That you have to do once you have that confirmation using your wave theory. That's what I do. Because Elliott wave will tell you that the trend is matured enough. And once we have that two-stage confirmation early on, not later on, because if you wait too long, then the RSI will be oversold. So you need to balance that out. आपको confirmation मिला candle से, आपको confirmation मिला wave theory से, and confirmation from time. That will add on to your conviction. Once you have that conviction, you can leverage more. You can bet by buying calls or the put. But जब conviction नहीं है, you can still bet using options by selling options. Again, I repeat, you should ensure that when you sell options, that option, because of gap down or gap up, should not become in the money. Because जैसे ही वो होगा, it will be sharply rising because the delta will start rising. Rather, the rate of change of delta will increase. If that happens, then you will lose a lot. So you have to ensure that you do not make an OTM option that you have sold. That becomes an ITM. Now, people who might not understand what is an OTM and ITM, you can stay put because we will discuss that in our option trading program, which is going to happen, I think, on 23rd and 24th of April, which is Saturday, Sunday. So that's how we are going to discuss that in depth. But right now, understand. So एक बार अगर मार्केट के बारे में ओवरऑल व्यू पता है, and then we know that where do we stand, we know how the mature trend is, we can be able to trade this market with a very clear cut, forming some strategy on options. That's one. Next, trading individual stocks is challenging. To be honest, I'm also finding it challenging because there are stocks that gave breakout on the upside with good volumes, but only then they did not sustain and coming back down. So I think it's better to be out again. अगर आपने कोई stock identify किया है which is giving a breakout, did not sustain, come back down, get out. Don't bother much. If you keep doing that, and if you get even one stock out of four, you will be able to get back whatever you're losing and make more money. That's how it works. And when the trend comes again, you will be able to get good movement, and you will be able to get series of profits also. So the game that we are playing right now is such that you should ensure that when you lose less, but when you make money, you make more. That's the entire aim of the game. It does not matter that whether whatever you are doing, whatever techniques you are using, the aim is just that. And you just have to ensure that you are doing it with an edge, not like everyone else. Candlestick up sabhi dekh rahe hain, lekin you are the guys who are seeing it. Where is that candle forming? That is going to make a lot of difference. So it's very important you understand that where is it happening. Along with candle, combine time. Along with that, combine wave theory if you know it, or open interest analysis, volume profile. These are all fantastic tools. We have done that in the past in option trading using technical analysis program. Ensure you live by that. Just don't forget about it, because it's a very, very important method, and that is going to help you out throughout your journey as a trader. Okay. So it's not necessary that you have to use all of the techniques that we discuss, but you need to have, as I say, an edge, or you need to trade with a style. If you don't do that, you are going to be in that 90% of the people who lose money. I don't want that to happen. Now we have gone through all the curriculum of mentorship. We have seen how it works. We have tested the waters, and we have tasted success, right? So now we want to be consistent. Now we want to be disciplined. Now we want to ensure that whatever we have done, we live by that. Should have a method. We should have a strategy. Let's not jump across from one way to other to other to other. Let's stick with our strategies. Let's ensure that when that strategy is working, we make it big. When it's not working, we lose little or make little. That's the entire aim. If you follow that, I'm pretty sure you are going to be a winner at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, and end of the year. You are going to make a lot of money. And that is possible. That's how I've been doing it. I've been trading, and it has been working exceptionally well for me. So that is what I am imparting to all of you, and this is my observation about market. So now that we have observed, or I have talked about how you have to see the market, how you have to be aware about the forest and then count the trees before plucking the fruits, I am now going to go on the chart, start right from the very scratch in a very simple fashion, the way you should be seeing this market. Okay, so just hold on. I'm going to take the Q&As also. We will address that. I'm going to come out, I'm going to explain something on RSI very briefly, in a very, might not take more than 5 minutes. I'm going to explain something very interesting that I've been researching on for some time, looking at an RSI specific reading, specific value, and it's very interesting. So I'll share that also with each one of you. So just stay there, and let me open up my trading platform, and let me just share across the charts and other things. Just give me a second.